so nice to see you, brothers and sisters. We got this, right? It's all good. I'm going to see if I can move so we can see the flag in the background. Let's see if I can just move a little bit. If I go this way, okay, we see the flag. Oh, it's all tangled up anyway. All right, maybe we shouldn't see the flag. I'm going to focus on a couple of interesting stories that caught my eye, and it's really a follow up to yesterday's video, which is about Iraq and Iran. Is it really about Iraq and Iran? Is it about the Iraqi people or the Iranian people? Absolutely not. It is about the deep state, about the mechanism behind the deep state. That's kind of what I want to go through today. I want to share how various posts point out the way the deep state operates. Is she going to help with the flag? It's possible. We'll see. But right. In other words, we are now seeing, we can visually see how the deep state operates by the stories. Hey, Andrew D. Smith. Hey, Danny. And I think this is really exciting. And I think it's something that we really need to pay attention to. And it's amazing. It's amazing to be able to see it in real time. And I'm gonna go through some of these gyrations. I'm even gonna play a so-called Iranian hitting back against America. This is the deep state. This is not the Persian people. This is this probably goes back to Babylonian magic, and it certainly goes back to this black nobility, to 13 bloodline families that come out of Iran, that come out of this region, the Khazarian mafia, all the Vatican, the Jesuits. They all come from this dark, demon-led, perhaps Draco-led regime where we can't see who's really causing it. You may think it's George Soros. You may think it's the Rockefellers. You may think it's the Rothschilds. Those are just the peons. Those are just the puppets. Oprah Winfrey. These are people who are really sick. These are pedophiles. These are people who, they're involved with blackmail. I saw a post today about how Epstein is just like showing you the tip of the iceberg in terms of the corruption and the sickness that the elites have acquired. Brian Best, Spiritual Bean Coffee. I'm drinking Skywalker tonight, one of my favorite blends of Brian. Small batch, organic coffee, amazing stuff. I heard there were fires in Prescott. I was about to say, if you're lucky enough to be in Prescott, you can look up Brian and Corinne. They do an amazing job. I seen a podcast saying Iran is about 3 mountains and oil after the poles shift and tidal waves. They require Iran for humanity. I have known idea 3 days of darkness, etc. I'm not sure about any of that stuff, Danny. I can't, but I'm just going to present what I'm seeing from my point of view, and I'm also going to present a very nice piece about the revaluation, and it's very different from what we're used to hearing. And I think it's essential that we understand the point that is being made in this particular piece of communication. Okay, so what am I going to show you? LifeWave is a great product. I probably have this from last night. Let me just hide this. We're going back to we never left, really. We never left. This channel never left the focus on the main ideas here. The main idea is that There is a deep state. There is these 13 bloodline families that are hybridized. There has been a theft of lives, of stealing your time and stealing your life by this regime of evil that puts us into debt slavery, that sells us drugs that make us sick, that we have doctors who don't know anything about medicine. We have school teachers who don't know anything about education. The whole world is designed. President Trump just signed an order that says you cannot be arrested for fixing your own car. I mean, this is the insanity that we have accepted. The insanity is, yes, these people are insane. They're criminally insane. These are criminals. But the insanities that we've accepted these idiotic rules that they put upon us until now. And we're coming back into natural law. We're coming into the Great Awakening. So people will be back in a situation that works for them. Okay, so I'm gonna start with. Okay, I think I had this keyed up, but I'm gonna start with the situation in Iraq, and I'm going to be using this historical kind of ledger to examine these ideas. So there's all these stories. This guy's a total clown, deep state jerk. I'm going to play him just to show you how these idiots operate. They're so arrogant. They're so in your face. They're so wrong that we don't question them. But so here's what is eliciting this response for me. All these stories now about, let's see if we can go bigger, about billions are hidden inside walls of Iraq. Okay. All the money was found in these corruptors' properties. Okay. So millions and billions. This AI war goes mainstream. I may touch on that if I have time. But this is the piece that I want to start with. Iraqi unleashes major anti-corruption campaign against political elite. This is reminiscent of what happened when Trump was first elected in Saudi Arabia. They took down all these princes that were involved in pedophilia, child trafficking, murder of children, the satanic rituals. They took them all down. Now we are seeing the same thing in Iraq. And Iraq was under the thumb of Iran. So they were, and this is the place where the 13 bloodline families originate. So this is the heart of black magic, a heart of evil. And probably there is a labyrinth of underground bases that are as ancient as we know. We don't know our history. We went through it last night. It could be that our current civilization is 250 years old, and all this nonsense about the Renaissance and the birth of the all these things. We don't know. 3,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago. I mean, but I'm not going into that tonight. I want to focus in the beginning of this video on this particular. Here's a diagram explaining the corruption in Iraq. Can I enlarge it? No. Let's see if I could try another thing. Let's go back. But this is where I want to begin today's video, and I think it's very interesting. Hey, Grassroots. Hey, Shelby. So I'm going to go to this clip. Let's see where. Oh yeah. So let's enlarge it on the clip. Let me enlarge this. Okay, now let's see if I can share it. Okay, here we go. I'm going to go back one space. So let's go back to, we'll stay here and see if I go back to this and then go to this. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Corruption in post 2003 Iraq, how the system worked. This is an outline of the kind of corruption that has been running the world for decades, probably since 1913, if not before, when the Fed came into power. But this is how this gigantic transnational criminal organization works things. Now, you and I in 2003 thought that, let's see, the Iraq War, we were seeing post 2003 Iraq. I'm just trying to put this in context. But you and I were thinking, okay, let's just go through. Let's go through the information, and then I'll try to make my conclusion. But I want you to understand that I'm not showing this in terms of like this is so interesting. This is interesting news, anything like that. What I am hoping to make visual, to make manifest, to make to make tangible, is the style and the methodology used to corrupt the world, to steal our lives, to put us into debt slavery, to give up, how did this happen? So here's an outline, okay, of the corruption that, while you and I thought there was this political thing going on in Iraq, and there were weapons of mass destruction and this kind of thinking. We thought it was a war about justice, about bringing democracy to the people, this kind of thing. It was not. None of the wars have been that. All of these wars are for profit, for the elites. These are satanic rituals where they get to kill a lot of warrior class people, depopulate the planet, steal as many children as possible. That's what these wars were about. While you and I were hearing on the news, well, there's this injustice going on in the world, and the America is going to put it to rights now. That was just the cover story. The real story was the elites were using a conflict in order to perpetuate their criminal cabal. Money, power, children, drugs, the whole works. And this was perpetrated against humanity by the governments, by big pharma, by the media. It still continues to be by the media. Big pharma has not, as far as I know, has not come out and said, we apologize for never even attempting to cure cancer. This kind of thing. We don't hear this. So here's an outline of the way while you and I were thinking about John Bolton and all these characters and what's really going on, and and Israel is being attacked. I mean, I was heavily immersed in the Orthodox community at this point, and I was, it was like, why won't they let us go? Israel we have to be free to worship the way we, and all this other bullshit. Excuse my French, but while we humans were involved in a fake news story, this is what was really going on. That's what I'm trying to say. Power vacuum after 2003. 2003, U.S.-led invasion. CPA Paul Brenner dissolves Iraqi's military and state institutions. Security and political vacuum created. Environment for corruption to flourish. 2003, we saw brave soldiers going out there, weapons of mass destruction. What was really going on was the elites were creating a power vacuum so they could go and suck the resources out of the world, not just Iraq, because also U.S. aid and these kinds of things were involved in this. But exiled politicians returned from the U.S., UK, Germany, Syria, and elsewhere. The return of exiles and rise to power. present themselves as opponents of Saddam Hussein, enter politics through the 2005 2006 elections, which are scams. All elections that have been conducted in the last at least 50 years are scam elections. It's just the elites run the elections. They've been running this whole show. It's a dog and pony show, and we are the victims. But what I want to emphasize is that while you and I thought there was some kind of justice being pursued in Iraq, this was just an excuse to put the deep state players into power, the parasites, the scammers, the pedophiles, the creepazoids on every level have been put into power all over the world. And that's what the Great Awakening, that's what this is really about, is first the exposure of people who are awake to understanding what's really going on, and then the complete elimination of this criminal class. AI is helping in that respect in order to root out all the communication systems, all the spider web of corruption that has led the world. Okay, so building political patronage networks. Politicians build power bases in their provinces. MPs grant themselves high salaries, benefits, and privileges, large security budgets, armored vehicles, and other government-funded perks. So what every war is an excuse for the people in power to pay themselves. Corrupt contracting system, government contracts awarded, politically connected officials or armed groups demand a percentage kickback before work can begin. Contractors who refuse face intimidation, threats, or destruction of equipment. Costs increase, projects delayed or left unfinished. This is like, think of all the environmental projects, the windmills, the train that was never built in California. This is the fake, phony world that was created by these political elites in order to fool us, to rob us, to steal from us our very lives, our time, because we were so busy watching their movie about, we're going into Iraq to save the people, and our bravest and greatest boys went in there, and a lot of them didn't come back because of this creepazoid, parasitic, black magic, hybridized, demon-led puppeteers that have run the world for we don't know, for however, at least since 1913, probably 1871. You could look at the Organic Act, but before that, we look to 1776. This is all up for grabs. My personal opinion in this moment is that before 1776, we lived in a highly advanced civilization, and they took it apart at that time. And that this whole phony baloney about the Roman Empire and this and the colonialization of America and all this other is just a total corny story made up by a bunch of bullshit artists called the elites and their puppet masters. Corrupt contracting system. 5, diversion and accumulation of wealth. Homes and property. They're pulling billions of dollars out of these people's homes. Cash, all U.S. cash. Homes and properties, luxury vehicles, commercial properties, kickbacks, and stolen public funds converted to cash. Wealth hidden and invested in assets inside and outside Iraq. Enormous oil revenues do not reach ordinary people. The source of the wealth. Iraq is one of the world's major oil producers, exporting millions of barrels of crude oil every day. Tens of billions in national wealth generated, lost to corruption instead of developing the country. And Saddam Hussein was interested in the people. And that's why, and he was not interested in the federal banking system. That's why they took him out. And when they took him out, they replaced it with the this criminal mastermind system. Okay, new leadership. Comments to ending corruption and restoring public trust. This is the crackdown. This is just like in Saudi Arabia when they arrested all these belligerent criminal princes. So too in Iraq. This is what's going down right now, according to my sources. Okay. Seeks and secures legal actions to remove parliamentary immunity protections that shielded lawmakers and officials from prosecution. So they're now being arrested. They're arresting these creepazoid parasites. Authorities launch wide-ranging investigations into corruption, money laundering, and abuse of public funds. 47 current and former politicians and senior officials indicted and or arrested as part of the ongoing investigation. 5, seizures and confiscations. Authorities seize billions in U.S. cash, billions of IQD, Iraqi dinar. Dozens of arrests, including luxury vehicles, homes, commercial properties, and other buildings. The people the people did not do well. Hold the powerful accountable, recover stolen wealth, and rebuild public trust in government. They'll be doing something like the Republic in Iraq. But this is an outline. This is a map of how the deep state operates. They create a power vacuum. They create a change in the leadership in a country. Power vacuum is created. They send in their boys. They send in their contractors, and all these illicit activities. Doesn't even mention the corruption from child trafficking and human trafficking and organ trafficking and these kinds of things, and cannibalism, and none of that is mentioned here. But this gives you the flavor of what has been going on. So key results to date: 47 indictments and arrests, 11 billion US dollars seized, dozens of assets confiscated, expanding investigation. The bigger picture: the crackdown could mark a turning point after more than 2 decades of systematic corruption. If pursued fairly and transparently, it can rebuild public trust and create a new chapter for Iraq, for the people of Iraq. To understand this basic concept is probably puts you in the upper, like 1% of 1% of people who really understand what is going on. It's like they rewrite our history every year. It's not the real history, right? We got this. So you guys understand this. The most of the world does not. They're still listening to Joe Rogan tell them the amazing things that are really going on, really happening. This is just another way of the deep state. In my opinion, all these people are deep staters. Because, and Tucker Carlson, they're saying Tucker Carlson is now admitting that demons are running the world. I mean, why is he doing that? Because he's controlled opposition. So they feel at this point that it doesn't matter if they get exposed because people know about them anyway. This is not, like they're giving it up. We got this. Yeah, 100%. So that is the major thrust of what I wanted to emphasize. And I want to show you this. This is how the creepazoids traditionally have misled us with posts like this. This is how they've told us that this is the deep state. I want you to see this because it's amazing to be able to see the enemy make such asses of themselves publicly. But this is what they do. And in the past, the majority of people in our country, or a good number of, a good percentage of humanity, was fooled by this nonsense. So let's just watch this in terms of, and just think of it as, this is the enemy. This is what they've been doing us for centuries, but now we know what they're doing, and it's very clear. So let's see if I can, let me see if I can just bring that up first. Okay, so let's go here. Let's go to the, I just, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Are supposed to move through the Strait of Hormuz with Iranian coordination. And the Americans are trying to push ships to go back and forth without coordinating with Iran. That's a violation of the deal. Again, Lebanon, violation, the not releasing Iran's stolen assets. These are all violations, and the text is very clear about what constitutes a violation and what does not. But the United States is a regime that does not comprehend justice. It does not abide by international law. It does not abide by its commitments because it sees itself as exceptional. American exceptionalism means they are above and beyond everyone else. They don't recognize your sovereignty, but you have to recognize their sovereignty. They don't recognize your rules and regulations and your global status.
So this is a classic example of what's called inversion. This is what the deep state does. They invert the situation. They make it seem like we're the bad guys. This professor, this expert, is telling you that you're the bad guys. It's really this is the inversion. This is how evil tries to portray good as evil and evil as good. That's called inversion. That's what the deep state, that's what the parasites, that's what the 13 bloodline families, that's what these demonics have been doing to humanity. So you listen to this guy and he's saying, well, the hardcore libs are like, yeah, it's really our fault. No, it's not. It's their fault. This is a criminal regime. These are hardcore murderers. These people make them, well, the mafia is included in this, but these people make the mafia look like Boy Scouts. They have run the world. They have stolen 8 million children a year. They have taken all you work so hard. I worked as a school teacher for 20 years, putting up with all kinds of bullshit from the administration, and I paid my taxes. Where did my taxes go? It went into Nancy Pelosi's freezer for so she could have another type of ice cream. I mean, they pocket our money. They do not. We do not get. Well, what about roads? Okay, I'm not going to go there, but I'm just saying this is an outline. What I'm showing you is the structure of our environment right now. That they use this idea of inversion. The liberals are always calling us fascists. Who are the fascists? It's the liberals. It's Antifa. It's Black Lives Matter. These people are fascists, hardcore fascists, calling us fascists. That's called inversion, and that's what they use against us. Okay, so with that said, I think you get a pretty clear idea. I mean, do tell me, but um, you know, I think I think probably most of the people on this channel understand this. David Icke has been telling us for decades. Okay, I don't know about David Icke. I think I don't know. I don't know. It could be, but it whatever. This is the way I believe we need to understand what's going on today. It's not, they were saying that the mainstream media has not even covered what's going on in terms of the arrests in Iraq because they don't want to deal with it. This is their team getting arrested. This is their corruption, their CIA, their FBI, the deep state media, which is probably the most dangerous part of this whole thing, is that they all dance together. These criminals all work together. Okay, so that's, I don't think what I'm saying is surprising to anyone on this channel, but I think we need to be aware of it. Okay, so I went through this because I think it's important that we clearly understand there is good and there is evil. Evil wants to paint good as evil and evil as good. It is said in mystic Yiddishkeit that at the Garden of Eden, good and evil got mixed together. You can't really tell. We can tell. We can tell. And they say as we go into a period of the awakening, that good and evil will separate and you will be able to clearly see which is which. The inversion thing is not going to work for this professor. It's not going to work for the deep state anymore. People are not buying it because they understand that this is a criminal, murderous organization that is running the world. Thieves, murderers, pedophiles, child traffickers, gun runners, drug dealers, whether it be big pharma or the cartels. These are people involved in doing things that hurt humanity. Okay, now I want to change topic just a little bit to talk about the revaluation. And I saw this post and I thought this is a very interesting post. There was one or two other posts that I do want to share. I'm going to run through them, and I probably will present them as kind of like, offshoots of the main show. But this next piece, I think, is very important for those of you and myself who are convinced that the Iraqi dinar is about to get revalued and XRP is about to go to the moon. And when the Clarity Act hits by, July 4th, and everything. Now that could go down. It could go down like that. I don't know. I don't think that's the way this movie's going to end. Everybody's happy. They pull out the flags. The big airplanes go over Washington, D.C. We all see this great air display show, and XRP goes to $50,000, $100,000. This is not the way, in my opinion, the White House are operating. I know there are a lot of podcasts out there who want you to believe that it's going to go down like this, and I hope they're right, but I don't see it. I do not see it, because this is an evolutionary process that we must go through. Because at the end of the day, if you liberate humanity and people still have a slave mentality, it means nothing and will fall into the same hands again and again and again. We must evolve. We must become smart. We must do what we have to do. We must act. We must join the Republic. Here, let me just put that up. Please join the Republic. Get involved. I missed a meeting today. I feel so bad. I got involved in something. I missed a meeting, but I meet twice a week with my crew of people of the Republic. Once a week. Yeah, but we usually get once a week and then once a month. So it's like 5, whatever. But we meet a lot, and it's an exciting process to restore a real government for the people. Okay, so now I'm going to do a little bit of a 90-degree turn and talk about the revaluation that seems to be more in line with my way of thinking about what is happening here. Okay, let's see if I can find this. Okay, we saw this creep, right? Okay, so now I want to go to, we saw this money in Iraq. I did a little thing on our homesteading. It's interesting, right? The fact that the mainstream media has not said anything. They're pulling out hundreds of billions of dollars from the ceiling. Can you smell the panic coming from the Bush family? Right. They were all behind this whole thing. But the post that I want to share, I got it early this morning. And it's this post from Rob Cunningham, who I like his presentations. He's been putting out a lot of these uh, diagrams, but I'm not gonna really refer to the diagram at this point. I'm going to refer to the show more because I think maybe we'll get to it, but I think this is really important and a different way to think about the revaluation that we need to be aware of. Okay, let's put it like that. Okay, here we go. They care about one question. Okay, this is all of us. Most people don't care what the financial system is called. They care about one question. What's in it for me? What's in it for me? That's what people are waiting for. When is my XRP? I held this XRP. I bought the silver. It dropped a little. When am I going to be? And this is the wrong way to think about it, because if you are waiting to be saved and you are saved, you might as well be a normie, because you're not going to be able to transform yourself and ascend, which is what this is all about. Anyway, I'm sorry I get emotional. They care about one question. What's in it for me? What if America's next economic upgrade simply meant your money settles faster, fees get smaller, fraud gets harder, property rights get stronger, savings hold their value, governments become more transparent, innovation creates more jobs instead of more bureaucracy? What if the real revolution isn't crypto? It's rebuilding trust through better rules, honest money, modern infrastructure, and technology that serves people instead of the other way around. If that's even directionally correct, shouldn't we be asking better questions before arguing over today's headlines? The future may belong less to those with the loudest opinions and more to those asking the wisest questions. Worth considering. Here's how I see the world transforming for the better. And there's a thing, I don't know if I can get it to that our wildest imagination, the dawn of a new era. And okay, let's just see if we can. Let me just attempt to do this, and then we'll call it a night. Let's see. Okay, we're going to back here. Let's see if I can enlarge this. Okay, let's see if it's possible. Okay, I can't really make it out. I'll read what I can read out. America announces the dawn of a new era, a new global monetary system 10 times greater than our wildest imagination, a transparent system that can only truthfully and honestly serve all of human civilization with respect for all. The Internet of Value, they talk about all these things, which I am unable to really see. Let's see if there's another way. Let me try. Let me just try one little thing, and then we'll. But this is a kind of a quiet transformation. Let's try this one more time. Can I get it bigger? No, I can't. I can't seem to get it bigger. I can read it, but I don't know if people are hearing it. So I'm gonna. You'll have to look for yourself, but on X, it is up on X, and let's just see if I can do this. No, it's still not. Most people, yeah. Okay, so I think we got the gist of it. The idea is, what's in this for all of us? Quantum Financial will bring so much goodness to our world when it happens soon, and there will be things that are ending that we should celebrate as well. Having no more funding for fake charities or NGOs, no more debt slavery, no more Fed or IRS. So that's the basic take home from all of this, is that we're coming into a new age, and it is going to be not necessarily a flashy new we all become multimillionaires kind of thing. It's just that we will come into a world where money is fair, where they're not stealing all your tax money, where they're not, they're not putting into debt slavery, they're not using inflation to steal your savings. All these things, we're going to come into a beautiful new world. I just want to put out a quick shout out to yeah.
About my Instagram.
Okay, I'll put out. I want to just mention. Let's see. Q German girl Venmo. That's Venmo. Spiritual being. No Munitech. Lifeway. Okay, so was requiring her her Instagram channel. She's planning to put out more information about something that I'm about to talk about anyway, which is these LifeWave patches are life changing. This is part of the transformation, is learning to take care of yourself, learning what to eat. You don't have to go as crazy as we do. We are living in a world up here where more and more of our vegetables and now our eggs are going to be directly under our control. So we'll be eating nothing is sprayed up here. I mean, I don't know what they're doing in the skies, but we don't see chemtrails right now. But we are growing our own food. We will continue to develop this, and for us, it's very exciting. When you go to the organic section, and the vegetables are out and they look beautiful, and they're
You don't want hybrids.
right. You don't. Daniela says, do not eat hybrids. Do not stay away from fruits and vegetables that don't have seeds. It's not natural. It's not good for you. But in the organic section, in the food, they spray these organic fruits are getting sprayed by Clorox and all this other nonsense. So,
Even chicken.
yeah, even what?
Chicken.
Yeah. So, what is it?
Even with chicken.
Even with chicken, or even your organic chicken, everything is being sprayed and shot up. Cows, everything. But we are making an attempt up here to move into producing our own food, our own freedom. If you feel so inclined, let me just to to reach out. You want to reach out to it. Crickets again, yeah. May the Creator bless us all. Right, yeah, and yeah. Okay, so life's strange. You arrive with nothing and spend your whole life chasing everything and still leave with nothing. Make sure your soul gains more than your hands. Okay, Trump signed an EO about Christianity and anti-Semitism. Okay, so Polar Bear, you're taking over the chat now. Okay, whatever. Okay. So the LifeWave patches are excellent. The X2O machine is incredible. It puts light directly into your body. I highly recommend you give Dr. Stacy a call, or navigate to my or Daniela's website and become a brand partner. I instead of shopping, you press join, and if you get a pro pack or better, whatever it is, you become a brand partner, and then you get all the discounts.
And all the customers that want to buy the X2 water machine, it's available July 9th.
Okay,
Except for California, Wisconsin.
and anybody who wants to buy the X2O machine, it's going to be available on July 9th, so there'll be a greater availability of the machine.
And they up if you sell a water machine, you get $1,500.
And if you share the water machine with somebody else, if you sell the water machine to somebody else, they up the percentage to $1,500. So if you're looking for a business, it's not for everyone, but it is it is a great thing to be able to share something that produces better health. I don't know if am I allowed to say the CDC, whatever. I mean, what are they going to do to me now? I don't get paid anyway. I mean, so it doesn't matter. But I do get paid by LifeWave. They're very generous with the people who do share their products. I highly recommend you get an X2O machine. It's an amazing water source of high energy living, as well as I'm wearing a glutathione patch. I have the X39 patch under my belly button every day. And these are just things that we do in order to live a beautiful life. I'm 71 years old. I went on must have been a 5-mile round trip hike with my friend James. We had a great time. But check out the LifeWave products. Try to get food from farms if you can. That will make it better for you. The grocery stores are just, they make little changes, but they really, I don't think I don't know. I'm Black American, but skin color doesn't matter when you speak the truth. Absolutely, man. Okay, so smack the like button. May the Creator bless you all. Okay, so anyway, this is all good. I highly recommend. I invite you to try the LifeWave patches. It's made a tremendous difference for me and Daniela. She's speaking all the time now. When I first met her, she really wasn't feeling like speaking much. But do join her Instagram channel. She has all kinds of. She finds out things that make me crazy, because it's like, we just bought this and now it's no good. She finds out, like, with the salt, like the Himalayan salt one day became full of heavy metals, so we had to switch to another salt and then another salt, and this, as somebody who lives on a pension, this can be quite disconcerting, but we're doing it anyway. And we feel that when our resources start to flow in our direction the way they will, and the way they are, the way they should, that things will be quite different up here. We've already talked about, well, what if, right now we're struggling just to buy a piece of plywood. We literally do not, but what if we had a lot of money? And so James and I are like, well, let's get a backhoe, man. We could dig out houses and build them a lot faster. This kind of thing. Everybody's another step closer. Yes, indeed. So that's it, man. Okay, let me see if I can actually play the song that I click on. But just $1,500, man. You help somebody. You give them light infused water with no microplastics, all hydrogenated, really high quality water. It takes 45 minutes to make this water. It's not like a all day water filter. It's just to infuse your body with light periodically throughout the day. To me, is a great joy. So we want to thank those of you who have supported us in this way. It's tremendous technology. Okay, so I'm going to try to play another song from Leaving the Matrix. Let's see if I can pull it off. Waking up on the front porch, Sunday at dawn. The night was hotter than hell and forever long. I can see the first light breaking through the trees. I feel the changes in the cool breeze of freedom. It's a new morning. We never saw it coming, hiding in plain sight. Banksters taking power, stealing our lives. They
were looking to bury us in debt, shame, and fear. But our roots grew stronger as we reached into the air with freedom, freedom. And it's a new morning. It's a new morning. With each day we're rising up in this world with the power of love, with the power of peace, the power of joy, the power of truth, and the power of freedom. And it's a new morning. It's a new morning. It's a new morning. It's a new morning.
Thank you so much for listening, for being here. I'm sorry about the Himalayan salts. I hate to be the one to break it to people, but what is the new salt to use? Salter? Here. This is the stuff we use now. Salt or electrolytes, but that is Daniela approved, which is it's a pretty high standard, man. As I can tell, as the person who finances this, it's pretty cool. But yeah, the Polar Bear Man and JD, thank you for your compliments and thank you for being there. And the main thing is, I was thinking today, like, what do I want to tell people? What do I really, really, really want to tell people? Just be yourself. That's the greatest gift you can give to the world, is just to be you, because nobody else can do that job. Okay, so use the force, be the force. You are the force. Tomorrow we're going to be doing Crypto Tuesday with Mark and Big Bird. We're going to be doing Crypto Tuesday. So if you're interested in finding out the latest and the greatest, and probably Mark is an expert about the Iraqi dinar. He might have information about the when question of when the dinar is going to be revalued. It was apparently in the old days $4. It was like 4 to 1 to US dollars. So it's not like pie in the sky stuff. Although I do criticize those people who have been telling people for years to get your ducks in a row and have an empty suitcase so you can fill it through with cash. Whatever. Anyway, so may the force be with you. May you realize that you are the force. You are the only one in the history of the world that can be you. So you don't have to be like somebody else. You just have to be you. And it takes a lot of work to be ourselves. May source be with you. May you realize that you are intimately linked with Creator itself. You are a hologram of creation. I don't say a fractal because you're not a fractal. You're a hologram. You are as much creator as the creator. It's all one thing in my mind. This is based on a 5-methoxy DMT trip that I took years ago. That's how I got to that conclusion. But so we'll see you tomorrow night, and let's get out there with a big smile on our face and rock the world.